up, everybody? It's your boy Travis, aka Matsu, and I am here for the second to last episode of the Undaunted raid set review. Today I'm going to be going over the back page cards. Before we actually get into things, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Go check out my socials and my Patreon, link in the description, and PPG for all your singles and sealed product. Anyways, so for those wondering how I'm going to be rating these cards, I'm going to be rating them by competitive viability in a tier of 3 tiers. So we have the We'll See competitive play tier, which is where the cards I expect as a competitive player to see play, not only in my decks, but in the decks of many other players. And then the stuff that has a good chance of seeing play, stuff that I could reasonably see top 16ing a major event. That's the main criteria for all of this, by the way, is top tier is like, oh yes, this should be in like every top 16 regional deck list on this symbol or on these symbols. And then second is I could expect it to be. Third is why is this in your deck? Like, it's locals exclusive stuff that I would only advise you to play at locals, like in a for fun deck. But let's get right into it. So first of all, we have Chronostasis trigger. So just real quick, Chronostasis trigger is a 4 div, 3 mid for 4, with a 3 check and a 2 mid block. Breaker 2, ranged and tech. Enhance, freeze 1 rival foundation. If this attack was played from a zone other than your hand, commit 1 rival foundation. Okay, this card is very good. And then enhance, specifically evil symbol enhance. Change the zone of this attack. If this attack deals damage, seal your rival's character. Now, this is extremely strong for several reasons. Not only does this share 2 symbols with Barrier Shield, meaning that it is essentially a Breaker 4 block, it also just kind of does everything. It freezes your opponent's best foundation that they tap. If you played it from anywhere other than your hand, you just hard commit a rival foundation. And then the evil enhance just lets you change the zone to whatever, and then if it deals damage, you seal your rival's character, which is sick. So basically, if your character has the order symbol and the evil symbol, you can play Think Fast, and Think Fast makes this a 5 whatever or 4 whatever for 5 on a 4 div, which is pretty good, especially since it has Breaker 2, does all this other cool utility stuff. I could definitely expect this card to see competitive play at some point. Yeah, so we're just gonna put it there. On to the next one, we have Vindicating Smash. So this is I believe a backpage Deku ultra rare. It's a 5 div, 4 mid for 7 with a 2 high block and a 3 check, Fury and Punch. Enhance, if this attack's damage is 15 or greater, draw 2 cards and your rival discards 1 card. And then Deadlock enhance, your rival discards 1 card. Okay, so this is obviously pretty good in Deku 4, because he gets it to 15 damage just off of a discard and then a actual momentum. Yeah. Other than that though, the only other character I can think of like really utilizing this card well is probably Muscular. Muscular loves this card. He makes this thing for 15 damage just by pressing a button on his face, and as it turns out, the character who wants your opponent to not be able to block your stuff, making your opponent discard a card and then drawing 2 more cards is extremely strong. But it has a decent chance of seeing competitive play, because I think it has a very like limited range of characters it can actually see play in. So on to our next card, we have Phantom Threat. Phantom Threat is a 5 div, 4 mid for 5 with a 2 high block and a 3 check, powerful 3, punch and slam. Enhance, if this zone of this attack has been changed, add it to your momentum after it resolves. You cannot add other cards to your momentum for the rest of the combat phase. And then Response: after this attack receives a damage bonus, it gets +1 speed. If you have played this ability 5 times, draw 1 card and this attack gains flash. And for those that don't know, this was actually updated to where when you gain flash, it does end the enhanced step in the most recent LGR update, which I will have more news on in the future. Watch out for that video. But yeah, this card's fantastic. It really rewards you for having a lot of extra damage pumps in like multiples. So just for example, obviously the card is banned for good reason, but if you were to have like 4 1 with natures and you go 1 with nature, I'll respond 4 times with 4 different 1 with natures, it'll end up getting 4 speed, and then you just have to give it 1 more damage somehow and you can draw a card. But 1 with nature is banned, so that's a little bit harder to do now. It is still decently easy to do though, at least on the good symbol. I know has a lot of spammable damage pump that it can use on this card, especially because it's a punch. So I do think this card is going to see competitive play, if not just for the first ability of adding itself to momentum when you change the zone, or if the zone has been changed. It's extremely good for Mirio, obviously. On to the next one, we have Repeated 100% Smash. It is a 5 diff, 4 high for 6 with a 2 low block and a 3 check. EX3, punch, powerful 3, and ranged. Enhance, ready 1 foundation that has not been readied this combat phase for each punch in your card pool. And then enhance, if this attack's damage is 10 or more, checks cannot be modified for the rest of the turn. So if there was another tier, this card would be like here. This card is literally like Make Way. Make Way. This is the best card in the set by far, and it's like not even close. This card is so absurdly disgusting. Even without the good symbol, which let's not even think about the universe where this card has the good symbol instead of like the order symbol or whatever. Both Order, Life, and kind of Void, but Order and Life actually have a very real punch package that they can play with this card to get complete utilization of their passing the torches, their other committal effects. Like, this card is insane. Readying Blood Evaluation with this card is absurd. I cannot like overstress just how good this card is. This is going to be the old secret rare to look for. In my opinion, closely followed by the next card we see here, Tetra Terror Onslaught. It is a 5 diff, 4 high for 4 with a 2 low block and a 3 check. Echo, meaning after this resolves, you can discard a momentum to play it as your next form from your card pool. And then it has a static that says when you try to play this attack from anywhere other than your hand, it gets -1 difficulty and +2 speed. Okay, that's pretty good. It's another play this attack from anywhere other than your hand matters card. So the cards that worry about that, like Larceny, for example, would hit this when you echo it or when you play it otherwise. But enhance, lose 3 health. If this attack deals damage, add 1 card with a printed difficulty of 4 or less from your discard pile to your hand. That's crazy. Now, oftentimes, you probably aren't going to be using that enhance on the first iteration, but on the second iteration, when you make it an essential 6 high for 4 on a 4 diff, when you echo it. But yeah, this card's crazy. Absolutely very, very strong card. Unsurprisingly, all of the secret rares are in the we'll see competitive play slot so far. Which is actually a very cool change. We have not had like hyper playable secret rares until this set. So on the next card we have Piercing Barrage. Piercing Barrage is a 4 diff, 3 mid for 3 with a 1 high block and a 3 check weapon combo with a 3 damage move, meaning a 3 damage attack has to be preceding it into the card pool. And then combo enhance, this attack gets 3 damage, so it's a 3 mid for 6. And then enhance, if this attack deals damage, your next check to play an attack with a printed damage of 3 or less gets +2. Now, this card is very interesting because it supports an archetype that really hasn't seen that, like, a crazy amount of support. But we did see Chaos Uubami perform at a major event recently, so who knows? I'm gonna say this has a decent chance of seeing competitive play because if you think about it, this is essentially a 3-diff 3 mid for 7 in Uubami that says if it deals damage, your next check plane attack with a printed damage of 3 or less gets +2. So that's very interesting. On to the next card, which is in a similar vein. In Storm of Blades, we have a 4-diff 3 mid for 3 with a 1 mid block and a 1 check. Response: after this attack resolves, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. As your next form, you may play 1 attack with a printed damage of 3 or less discarded this way. No check necessary. Okay. So this has good synergy with, like we were just talking about, Uubami under Chaos. It even fuels your discard pile for that character because she wants to remove cards from her discard pile to make her attacks cheaper, and this does that. In addition to just making your next one free. Like, that's just really, really strong. However, it's a 1 check, and I'm gonna be honest, as a 1 check, I don't think this card's good enough. But I could be wrong. So, we'll see. On to the next card, we have Hair Razor Slash. Hair Razor Slash is a 3-diff, a 2 high for 3 with a 2 high block and a 3 check. Mr. Brave stun 1. Weapon: enhance, this attack gets -2 speed and +2 damage. Okay, now we have to assume that Mr. Brave is a plus Ultra Pack character because we have not seen any of his, like, we haven't seen his character, we haven't seen anything for him. He doesn't exist in the game already, so for now I'm just gonna say this is locals exclusive because just based on the stats alone, like, it's a 3-diff 0 high for 5 basically, is not the greatest. On to the next card, we have Meteor Fafratskis, which is a 5-diff 5 high for 5 with a 1 low block and a 2 check, charge and ranged. Enhance, this attack gets +1 damage for each of your face down foundations. Okay, so they split Frog Lashing in 2 and they split it across 2 cards, but for some reason one of them is a 2 check and the other is a 3 check. And the most broken ability on Lashing went to the 3 check. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think this card's gonna see very much play, if any at all. The only character that could realistically want to play this card is like Asui under water or under air, but I don't think it's that great. Anyways, on to the next card. We have Duplicate Deception Stab. It is a 6-diff 4 low for 7 with a 2 mid block, throw, and weapon. Enhance, if this is your first attack this turn, remove 1 random card from a rival's hand. After this attack resolves, add that card to their hand. Okay. And then first enhance hand, meaning you use it from your hand, remove his cost, unflip 1 momentum. Okay, now this is very good for Toga 2. It's also very good for Recovery Girl because it's an attack that you don't have to give throw. It has a chance of ripping Face Shield or other good blocks out of their hand. And it unflips Blood Evaluation. Or, no, not Blood Evaluation, Blood Transfer. Which, if you don't know, is insane in Recovery Girl because she can build Excited for Blood from her discard pile. This card is gonna be cracked for sure. Wholly expect this in a Recovery Girl list if she does not get errated first. On the next card we have, okay, there we go. I don't know why I lost track of like what button to press. Holy. Alright, on to Centicoil. We have a 4-diff, 4 mid for 4 with a 2 low block and a 3 check. Slam, response. After you play this card, choose 1 card in your rival's card pool. That card cannot leave the card pool during the combat phase. And then enhance, discard 1 momentum. This attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each card in your rival's card pool. Boop. This card does not actually do that much, and it doesn't have like keywords that really matter. Like, if it had ranged or fury, maybe. But It doesn't, so it's gonna stay down here in the locals tier. That rhymed. On to the next card, we have Bubble Restraint. Bubble Restraint is a 6 diff, 3 low for 6 with a 3 mid block and a 3 check. And it has throw. Enhance, if your rival tries to block this attack with a foundation card, that blocks modifier gets a +3. And then response, after this attack deals damage, your rival's block modifiers get +1 for the rest of the turn. Okay. I think this card's fine. It has a decent chance of seeing competitive play. Just being a good poke that leads into a decent all-in with the +1 to block mod for the rest of the turn. I like it. It's also just kind of hard to block with a foundation, so it's like not really a throw unless they're blocking with an attack. Or an action, right? Does this say non-attack card? Just foundation. Okay. Yeah, so attack, action, asset. Those three can block it efficiently, but foundations can't really. On to the foundations, speaking of, we have Broken Psyche. Broken Psyche is a 2 diff 5 check with a 3 low block. Response, remove after you take damage from an unblocked attack. Add 1 card with a check value of 6 from your discard pile to your hand, playable while committed. And then change this attack's damage to 2. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm a big fan of this card. I think this card's definitely going to see competitive play in a lot of decks, for sure. Even just for the flip discard 1 momentum, change this attack's damage to 2. Even if you don't use the other effect at all, this card is crazy just for that as a good damage reset. Yeah. Love that card. On to the next card, we have Bubble Distraction. Bubble Distraction is a 3 diff 5 check with a 3 low block. Enhance, commit, this attack gets +X or -X damage. X equals its block modifier. Okay, so on average, this is probably commit for -2 damage, which on a 3 diff, not the greatest, I want to say. I don't think this card's going to see very much competitive play. If anything, it might see competitive play in like a recovery girl strategy under like the good symbol, but we're gonna say this is mostly locals exclusive. On to the next card, we have Heroic Assistance, 2 diff 5 check with a 2 high block. Ally. Response, flip after one or more of your foundations is committed due to a rival effect. Ready 2 foundations that have not been ready this combat phase. And then Deadlock Enhance, flip, look at your rival's hand, you may change the zone of this attack. Okay. So this is an ally, so it can be built off of Command Pigeon Flock, so it already has some bonus points there, because on 2 symbols you can just build it for free, and it's also good stun hate. I think this card is definitely will see competitive play, at the very least in the sideboard, if nothing else. On to the next card, we have No Time to Waste. No Time to Waste is a 4 diff 5 check with a 1 mid block. Form, commit 1 rival foundation or asset. Enhance, destroy, this attack gets -3 speed. Playable while committed. So if I have to be brutally honest, I think this card only has 1 symbol. The symbol that can build it in with new training method, because drawing this card on turn 1, being a 4 diff foundation, feels terrible unless you're specifically going second, because you never want to build this on turn 1 as your first card with your character committed, check a 3, and then your just turn / probably your game is over. And seeing as this card only has 1 symbol, I'm going to put it down here in the locals exclusive tier. On the next card, we have Pass Through Walls. Pass Through Walls is a 2/6 with a 3 high block. Response, flip after your rival plays a breaker ability, cancel it. Response, flip after your rival plays an ability on an asset, cancel it. This card is an amazing sideboard card, and I think we'll see play in a lot of decks on symbol, especially because it is a 6 check, which is very good. These symbols didn't have that many 6 checks they could work with, so we love to see that. On to the next card, we have Intense Stare. Intense Stare is a 2 diff 4 check with a 2 mid block. Form once per turn. Discard 1 or more cards, that's cost. Commit 1 non-character card in your rival stage with a difficulty equal to or less than the number of cards discarded. So, if you discard 1 card, you can discard, or you can commit a spam foundation. If you discard 2 cards, you can commit a 2 diff. 3/3, so on and so forth. It can also commit assets and stuff. I think this card is good in specifically the like order, tap you out, stun all your board, and then murk you strat. Especially because they have passing the torch, so they can pretty easily front the discard cost for this card. On to the next card, we have Look at This. Look at This is a 2/5 with a 2 high block, enhance, commit, reveal 1 foundation card in your hand. This attack gets plus X speed, X equals the printed difficulty of the revealed card. I don't think this card's very good. I'm gonna be honest. Enhance, commit, reveal a card in my hand for +2 speed. On average, not very good. On to the next card, we have Supportive Friend. Supportive Friend is a 1-diff 5 check with a 2 mid block. Enhance, flip, this attack gets +1 speed. Your next attack gets +1 damage. And then Deadlock, enhance, destroy, draw 2 cards. I think this card's fine. I think it has a decent chance to see competitive play in maybe a deck that just like doesn't already have good spam to work with, and maybe wants a little bit more of like a free aggressive spam that also scales well into the late game because it has that Deadlock enhance. Do I think this card is crazy or anything? No, but I think it's a fine card. On to the ultra rare that should not be an ultra rare. We have Stopping for Breakfast. It is a 3-5 check with a 3 low block and unique, meaning you can only have one of it in your staging area. Response, remove after your rival plays an ability on an action card, cancel it. This card is sideboard only tier. And that's if you even have space for it in your sideboard. Actions are pretty good. It does cancel the futures now, so it gets bonus points for that. But other than that, this card should not be an ultra rare. Come on, guys. Why is this an ultra rare? I have praised Jasco and their decisions on balancing and design in this set for the most part, aside from like specifically repeated Smash. But what is this? Come on. What is this? Why is this an ultra rare? If I go to a pre-release and this is an ultra rare in my pack, I'm livid. Why would anyone want this to be an ultra rare? Like, this continues the trend of we have an ultra rare in every set that looks like it should be a common or an uncommon. Like, please, guys. On to the next card, we have Twist the Surroundings, which for all my UVS old heads, looks very similar to a card called Maze Castle. It is a 3-diff 5 check with a 2 mid block, breaker 2, terrain, meaning only one terrain can be in either player's stage at a time, and if both players have a terrain, the one that was played first gets sacked off. And then enhance, discard 1 momentum, that's cost, change the zone of this attack to any other zone, playable while committed, playable by either player. And then response, commit, after your rival makes a check to play an attack, it gets -2. Failing this check will not end the combat phase. Yeah, this card's crazy. This card is just free breaker 2, or your opponent discards a card every turn on an asset. This card is nuts. And definitely expect to see a lot of that in competitive play. On to the next card, we have Airy, which is a 2-diff 5 check, 3 low block, ally, unique. At the start of your end phase, ready 1 non-unique asset or foundation that was not ready during this turn's combat phase. And as of the most recent LGR errata or update, Airy was changed to where she only works in your stage. It's not everywhere. Response, remove, discard 1 momentum before the damage step of your rival's attack. Reduce its damage to your current health -1, minimum 1. So basically, as long as you're at 2 or higher, you can make any attack that would kill you instead put you to 1, which is an extremely strong ability to have for just a momentum cost. And you also get a free ready at the end of every turn, so. On the next card, we have a Takoyaki. Takoyaki is a 1-diff 6 check with a 2 high block. Enhance, destroy this attack, gets +2 or -2 damage. Draw a card. And then Fat Gum Amajiki Kirishima response. remove after this card enters your discard pile during the enhanced step, gain 1 health. Okay. I think this card's fine. It is a 1-diff 6 check that replaces itself and gives +2 damage or -2 damage, which is pretty good. And then obviously, if you're playing any of these 3 characters, then it gets even better. Onto the actions, there are 2 of them. We have a Spear and a Shield, which is a 2-diff 5 check with a 1 mid block and breaker 1 static. If this card is added to your momentum, add it face up. And then response, lose 2 health after you block with this card, your rival commits 1 foundation. You may add this card to your momentum during the end phase. And then first enhance momentum, remove. This attack gets +1 damage for each foundation that has left either stage this turn, max 4. Yeah, this card's crazy. This card is just like essentially breaker 2, but it's permanent breaker 1 plus breaker 1 because you make your opponent tap a foundation. And then it also becomes a free momentum and has an additional effect. And for those that didn't notice, this is on 3 symbols with Howitzer Impact Cyclone, so that free momentum is huge. Onto the last backset card, we have Manifest, which is a 3-diff 4 check with a 1 high block. Enhance, add 1 other card from your card pool to your momentum, face up, draw 1 card, and then response after you block with this card, gain 2 health. Okay, this card is also very good. It shares symbols with Toga's support, meaning you can add Rushing Stab to your momentum for free, because that sounds pretty cool. You just block with your Rushing Stab and then enhance on Manifest to put it into your momentum. Yeah, I'll draw 2 cards, ready 1. Yep. This card's sick. Super hyped for it. It also puts Electric Jolt into your momentum, but that's lame. We don't want to do that. We play 1 checks. Anyways, if I had to rate the entire back set as a whole, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. There are a few really big stinkers. I'm looking at you stopping for breakfast. But for the most part, other than that, it's pretty alright. There's gotta be draft chaff, and I understand that it happens. But what do you guys think? Make sure you guys comment down below with your thoughts. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Check out PPG for all your singles and sealed product. Without further ado, this has been Matsu, aka Travis, signing out. Have a wonderful day.
What is up, Matsu Nation? Thank you for watching till the end of the video. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. And check out all my socials and my Patreon. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and sayonara.